having seen engineering, now we are going to look at careers in the field of sciences. There are plenty of sciences around. Let's talk about a few of them. Chemistry, physics, geology, geography and gist, mathematics and statistics, meteorology, oceanography, biological scientists and biotechnology, genetic scientists, biochemistry, microbiology and bioinformatics, anthropology, home science and home economics, nutritionists and dietitians, food technology, forensic technology, horticulture, environment science, dairy and poultry farming, fishery, forestry and wildlife, food processing, food technology and forestry. So let us start with chemistry in allied fields. Chemistry is an area where you talk about how things are formed, how materials are formed. People have to work in analysis of chemistry. You might need to work with a lot of liquids, solids, gases and things like that. You might need to be very precise in your stuff there. You might need to have very strong scientific base. Someone who wants to work in this area should have a strong theoretical understanding in the area of chemistry. And there are things which are relevant to mechanical industry or manufacturing industry where you work on chemical stuff there. Right? There are plenty of courses available, chemical and drug industry, which is very popular. There is also food industry, plastics, chemical engineers who look about production, who look about R&D is there. There are also different other jobs that exist. If you talk about physics and allied fields, physics is an area where people look about astrophysics, geophysics, medical physics, nuclear physics, meteorology, astronomy and biophysics and so on. There are plenty of specialized fields in the area of physics now. Physicians or physics, people who work in physical area, physics area, they have to be strong mathematically, they have to be strong in statistical analysis as well. They have to look into various technologies that exist. They normally work in the labs to analyze different equipment, different stuffs like they catch a lot of industries around. Physics are simply scientists like. They have a very strong patience. They should have a precise working time. They should work precisely so that they can come up with very good solutions for the problems in the world. There are plenty of courses available. There is geophysics, there is biophysics, there is medical physics, experimental physics, astrophysics, astronomy and the like. Let's talk about mathematics and statistics. Mathematics is part of our life. In every field you go, mathematics is there. Okay, if you talk about science, there is mathematics. If you talk about commerce, there is mathematics. So everywhere you go, there is mathematics available. Someone who has to work in mathematics should have a very strong understanding of mathematical concepts. He should be able to work with computers. He should be able to use computers effectively to do all his calculations like. And he should be someone who is interested in the following areas like mathematics, statistics, computer science, physical sciences, engineering and also many other fields like actual work, accounting. All these require you to have very strong aptitude in mathematics. There is also an area of operation research where people can look at how an operation in an industry is going and how could it be made positively or effectively neither. This is possible under OR. Normally mathematicians work indoor. They work with a lot of numbers and values. They calculate things like and they will come up with some results. Very importantly, if you want to work in this area, you should have very good interest and you should love mathematics because you are going to play with numbers all the time and you should have excellent mathematics skills. There are plenty of courses available. You could go for bachelor's, master's, diploma courses in mathematical statistics. Mathematical applied mathematics is there. There is also pure mathematics, that is statistical mathematics, applied statistics. There are also people who work on Vedic mathematics, people who work on statistics, who do planning and decision making based on statistics. You can also go for finance, medical institutes where mathematics is needed as well. And there is also Indian Statistical Service, ISS, which is conducted by UPSC. You can go for this exam, you can go into this area after your graduation. There is also Operation Research Analysis, for which you have courses like Masters in OR, which is Operation Research. Some notable institutions in this area: Chennai Mathematical Institute, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, Indian Statistical Institute. Let's talk about geology. Geology is a field where the geologists or scientists who analyze the history of the earth. They will talk about Okay, this is made up of this, which indicates it has been there for so many years and so on. They also include many areas, sub-areas. Geochemistry, geophysics, sedimentation, economic geology, engineering geology, as well as historical geology. There are plenty of other fields like. They have to look about how rocks are formed. From there they have to analyze how things have been formed, how long it has been there, and so on and so forth. Normally geologists, they work in laboratory or maybe in field work. They might need to work in different type of sites, maybe in a desert, maybe in a mountain, maybe in a riverbed, and different areas like. So they might need to work in outdoor environments where they should be prepared to do it. If someone who is interested in this area, he should have very strong observation capabilities. He should be strong in observing, he should be analytical, he should be having the inclination to investigate things like. You don't investigate. Right, there are plenty of fields in this area to study. You could go for marine petroleum geologists, mineralogists, geohydrologists, hydrologists, paleontologists who study about fossils. There is also seismology. There is study of sedimentary rocks, which is stratigraphers. There is engineering geology, environmental geology. There is also geochromologists who talk about radioactive dating. There is also geomorphologists who study about the Earth's surface. There is surveyors and plenty of other things available. These also, there is a selection which is based on UPSC exam. Let's talk about geographers and GIS. Geographers are those who talk about regions, who talk about geography, the structure, the landscape of this earth. Okay, GIS is a technology where people use to make databases with some technological map, some pictures, some diagrams, some maps. This has to be brought up. If you are interested in this area, you might need to think that you might have to work in different environments. You might need to work in a vegetation area, something with a different soil area, different areas you might need to work. You might need to be in different fields collecting a lot of data. This is needed in this area. Geographers should have very good interest on statistical data. They should be having a lot of interest to work on statistical data. And there are also courses of separately for MSc Cartology, Diploma in Cartology is also existing. There is also GIS, which is Geographic Information System. There are plenty of other course studies in this area. Let's talk about meteorology. Meteorology is an area where people study about the atmosphere. They say, okay, things are changing. How are they changing? How it is going to affect our weather, for example. So it talks about weather forecasting, possibilities of having a hurricane, for example. And all these has to be studied in the area. They work normally in labs. They have analysis, everything, and then they say, okay, there is a possibility of this happening in the future, whatever. Important problem with them is they have to be very fast in their working. They have to work very quickly because they have a lot of deadlines to cross. You cannot tell after a hurricane came up, okay, it's going to come. It doesn't make sense. So you have to be very fast in your working. And there are also different fields of working. The aviation meteorology is there. Industrial meteorology, which talks about pollution, is there. There is also physical meteorology available. Let's talk about oceanography. Oceanography is where you study about how to use the resources you get from the oceans, like from the sea available. Okay, so they have to understand to work with water. They have to work with coastline, estuaries, coastal waves, waters, and so on and so forth. They might even need to work in ocean beds. So they should have very strong knowledge on different fields. They should have good idea about biology, chemistry, physics, geology, geophysics, and mathematics. They should also have some idea of computers, how to use effectively, how to use the computers effectively. Normally, oceanographers, they work on onshore laboratories, sometimes offices. They also work in aquariums like. So they have to understand and collect a lot of data, and they should start analyzing them. This is their duty. So they should have very good observation minds. They should always keep in mind their work is meticulous. So they have to look for each and every integrity in it. Every minute information has to be analyzed. So someone can do bachelor or master in marine chemistry, marine science, marine biotech. You might also do something related to chemistry, biology, physics, or marine or petroleum, and then you end up in this oceanography job. Biological scientists. These are people who work extensively outside. They look about various biological stuff around. They have to understand various creatures around in the world. They should have a lot of patience and curiosity to learn, because each one have their own way of